What's your favorite thing about the funeral home?
That it is a family business that one of us will be able to take over, and what I'm willing is to take over it.
I am Marcel Clarke, and this is my lovely wife, Dr. Camellia Clarke. Next to me, you have Mia Clarke and Jasmine Clarke on the far end, and on this side, you have Mariah Clarke and Mr. Rajay Vaster, the oldest of the bunch. We are the proud owners and operators of Paradise Memorial Funeral and Cremation Services, and we've been in business since May 15 of 2001. Running a family-owned and funeral business, I have to admit it has its funny times. I know that it's a unique industry, but with regards to our business, Camellia and I decided a long time ago that we were going to set some serious boundaries in order for the business to work, in order for our marriage to work. So Camelia's office is on the first floor, my office is downstairs. She has the bigger office, I have the smaller office. We don't go into each other's office and we don't invade each other's space. We've decided to give each other responsibilities and we don't cross each other's list of responsibilities. Otherwise, we have to go into the other person's office and hear about that. The family business and the dynamics are true family business dynamics, but we love it and wouldn't trade it for the world. You know, some folks think that being at work with your spouse on a regular basis is difficult. We actually get a joy out of it because we figured out how to do it in a way that it makes us all feel sensible, makes us happy, and it makes it all work. So it's been a blessing.
And you never know from day to day what you're going to get in terms of the family dynamics. You know, working with our son and again working with Marcel it's just different every day. And we have the opportunities to be family, but also to be colleagues that work with each other. So we all have to find that perfect blend to where we're saying, okay, yes, you're my husband, but here in the staff meeting, you're my colleague. Yes, you're my son, but in a staff meeting, you're my colleague. And so that's the joy and the beauty of working in the family-owned business, the beautiful and the unscripted dynamics of a family-owned business.
Now I will take that a little further and indicate that there are some challenging moments. Like, so one challenging moment is, how do you discipline your son that comes to work late? Or how do you deal with your middle daughter that wants to get paid but didn't want to do any work that day? How do you keep your baby daughter and your oldest daughter out of your office? These are all parts of the challenges that we face, but we love it. And again, we wouldn't trade it for anything.
The thing that we really love is that growing up around the funeral home, what I've noticed about the children is they have a high level of compassion. I remember we lost my cousin, probably one of the first deaths that Rajay experienced, and he was about 5 or 6 years old, and we were at the local hospital, and he took all the younger children from that was there at the hospital and just started having a conversation with them about grief, and it just blew my mind.
I remember asking if everybody was good and if they were okay, but I know the biggest thing that I remember is we had coloring books and it was just basically about grief, and I remember one of the books said, "It's not your fault." I never per se had that mindset, but I can understand where other people can feel that way, just knowing that other people feel different when people pass away.
And in situations like that you're like, okay, this is good, because not only is it teaching you compassion dealing with the people that we serve, it's also allowing you to have that compassion in a skill in everyday life for you. Once we get a call from answering service, our house, prior to that call, it may be a high level of chaos. But as soon as we say, hey, answering service is on the phone, it's quiet. You can hear a pin drop. And we're like, this family is on the phone. And from the youngest to the eldest child, it is such a high level of respect for the families that we service. And that's the thing that really touches our heart. Every family that we meet with, they become a part of our family and we become a part of their family. And we meet with hundreds of families. And so when you think about that, how is that possible? Because someone is coming to you at the worst time of their life and they don't know.
We make it a priority to treat every family like our family.
Yes.
It really, and it's not just a statement, it's the way we build this thing. Everybody needs to treat everybody that comes through these doors as if it was their loved one.
Yes.
And the dedication that we show impacts not only our family, but our staff and all those that are surrounding. And it then ultimately impacts those families that we serve. But to sum it up, we take it serious, and they know that. Our kids know that. They see the work and the dedication that we put in, and then they see the results of it. We pride ourselves on it, and it definitely has a major impact on the families that we serve.
And the standpoint that we take, people have the opportunity sometimes to do a do-over for a wedding. But you only get one opportunity for a funeral. And we do not take that lightly. And so when they come in and we're sitting down with them, we want to do our best to be able to give a part of our family to them.
So that's our main goal.
Mariah, what is it like growing up at the funeral home and being involved?
I feel like it's like allowed us to like grieve differently, if that makes any sense. Like at my auntie's funeral, instead of wearing like black and everybody being like extremely sad, everyone wore royal blue and their doves, and obviously people were still sad, but people were more like celebrating her than like being sad that she's gone. They were celebrating her life and all the good things she's done.
When we see how other people are handling funerals, it lets us know that if someone a loved one passes away, you are sad in the beginning, but then at the end you keep pushing and you keep going on with your dreams.
When answering service calls, like, and me are in the car, like, we just like know not to say anything. We know that that's important.
Growing up also and listening to the phone calls, as Camelia stated, they'll have the phone calls on and you hear the family grieving in the background, and just the way that they handle the situation, very passionate with the family, and they're very sympathetic. It kind of gives us a good sense of if someone is grieving, that is our friends or our family. We know kind of how to be very sympathetic to them and show that empathy that they're looking for when they're going through those tough times.
Growing up as a funeral home child, a funeral kid, do you think it's been like a calling for our family, of which some of the calling and the passion from us have kind of spilled over to you all?
It's normal, it's life, and death is life, and life comes with death. It's not like something that you pick out, I guess. If you love something, you just kind of end up there. I've been here my entire life, or with them. I just love it. It's not morbid or anything like that.
I believe it has impacted us in a positive way more than we actually know, because it's kind of like a day-to-day to us.
This is just what they truly loved and stuff like that. So it's just, that's what you end up seeing every day, the passion, and now we're here, all of us, so it took years and stuff like that. I see my sister working here, and then my other two, now it's just, now I see my aunties, and it's so much more than just a job,
I am proud of how when there is a family that comes in and they're very emotional, they calm them down before the time happens when they get to see their loved one.
And it's compassion driven. We spawn into them or sow into them. What's your passion? Your passion may change. Find something that you're passionate about it and try and take it to the next level. And I believe growing up around the funeral home, from what I'm able to see in all of their abilities and skills, is it set the foundation for them to be able to drive their passions from a compassion standpoint, from an ethical standpoint, and from a caring standpoint, and then the business standpoint, and bringing all those skills together to still serve people. And we are so thankful to even be able to look at our second generation right here, because it is so difficult to get any family-owned business. And so we just appreciate them being involved and them being present and them being here and caring about what we do.
So I think the way that we've been an example for all of our kids is we want them to follow whatever they have the passion or the desire to do. We have not pushed any of them into this industry. They all have had a part in it on their own way and for their own reasons, but there's been no force behind it. And it can carry over into all of their walks of life. So I think we pride ourselves on not making them do it, but showing them why we do it, with the hopes and desires that if they did want to do it, they would know how to do it well. But more importantly, we want them to be respectful in what they do and love it, and then go after with the true entrepreneurial spirit.
Did you guys meet any people that was like us? Like their parents owned funeral homes?
Yes, at the convention center, I found a friend, Nayeli was her name, I think, and her parents had a business in Africa.
So one of the beauties about the one of the funeral associations that we're part of is they have the youth conference for the younger kids, and then they have the conference for the teenage kids. The benefit of that is they're in meetings and trainings with people who are dealing with exactly what they're dealing with. Their parents own funeral homes and they're going through things. I think the other beauty of it is they're networking with them as kids, potentially being the heirs of these businesses later. They've made connections with folks all over the country, and more importantly, they're dealing with people who know their story and have gone through or are going through what they go through. We definitely have pride in what we do. We have pride in how we carry ourselves. I think the biggest testimony of our pride, how proud we are, is we take value in, we know how the family were when they first came in on day one, and when they leave that service on day 6, 7, or whatever it is, the difference in their personality, the difference in their emotions, and difference in their expression is a definite result of what we did between those days to make their loved one the way they are. We personally take pride in them being able to smile and laugh at the end when we saw them crying on day one. So that's a pride factor for us, and we value that, and that's who we are.
The expression and the feeling from everybody, and it was just a great feeling. So I knew that's something that I wanted to do, just help people remember the moments.
And I think for me, what makes me so prideful is being able to tell our story, is being able to show our perfections as well as our imperfections, knowing that we're not perfect, knowing that we are able to tell our stories to highlight family-owned businesses, definitely family-owned funeral homes in our community, because it's such a rare commodity to still have, with all the conglomerates going on and consolidations going on, to be able to have our family to be a part of our organization and our community. And then I'll take it one step even further than that, the pride that the service that we're doing, and to have all of them involved in it, to be able to give back collectively. So that's the biggest source of pride for us, is being able to present ourselves and to share ourselves with our community, while also strengthening our family and knowing that we're going to go through challenges, knowing that we're going to have successes and happiness, but we will be okay. And taking the same advice that we give to the family into our own family, and knowing that we're going to be okay and continue to give.
It's not necessarily in what they do, it's who they are. It's the type of people they are. So that makes me look at them, and I have pride over that. I was just with Uber the other day, and she was asking where I was going. I was coming here, and she was like, "Do you work there?" I'm like, "Yes." And then she ended up knowing my mom, and I'm like, okay, this changes everything. Now, you gotta straighten up and be smooth, and it's a little different, but it's like, yeah, that's my mom. She's at the funeral home over there. Oh, and then they asked me a bunch of questions and all that, and it's just, you have pride in who they are and what they do as well, but it's more about how they are.
So I want to ask the children a question. So, of course, with all the positivities and all the good memories going around, growing up as a funeral home child, a funeral kid, do you all have any like stories? I know one thing. If he would act up, or if one of them would act up and it would be an off day at school, we're like, you're going to the funeral home and you're just gonna sit there all day.
I was good at the funeral home. So
Well, that's not what you told me. It's like, I don't want to go there. And then the staff will be getting them treats like Ted or some of the other staff. I'm like, well, no, they're on punishment. They don't get treats. We're so fortunate that when you have a family, everyone bring a different set of unique talents to the organization. And so we just appreciate them being involved and them being present and them being here and caring about what we do.